everybody. Welcome to First Friday Healthy Happy Hour. I'm Angela Berg with Share for the Kids Foundation. Joining me today is Jessica Enders from Children's Heart Center here in Las Vegas, also with an office in Reno.
Yes.
But Jessica's from here in Las Vegas. She runs the Healthy Hearts program there at Children's Heart Center, and I asked her to join us today because I think that is such a wonderful program that so many people in the community don't know about. And I know that all of you who are our regular viewers know that we started off trying to include nutrition regularly on the program, and we haven't done a really good job about it. And nutrition is such a big part of health, and the Healthy Hearts program is not only about nutrition but also about overall teaching kids about how to take some responsibility for their health in nutrition and activity. And so I really wanted Jessica to join us and talk about some of the important messages that they share with families. So thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Good. So will you just start off sharing a little bit with everybody about how the program is kind of set up and what are some of the important key points about the program?
Yeah, so the Healthy Hearts program is basically a comprehensive family program set up to help families with getting healthier in general. Most of the kids that are coming to see us have concerns that have brought them in that eating healthier is going to help with that. So we're seeing children that are dealing with early obesity, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, prediabetes, things like that. And our goal is prevention. And that's the key thing with nutrition and physical activity, is that we can prevent some of these consequences of these health problems down the line if we can fix things now.
Interesting that you say that, because I think as a healthcare provider in the community, I think a lot of us wait until these kids actually are showing some pre-hypertension or hypertension, show a pre-diabetic A1C, and we don't necessarily think about it in terms of prevention. We should be looking at that in the overweight BMI category instead of waiting until they hit that obese BMI category.
Yes.
And so that's really important. So they don't necessarily need to meet a criteria of having a problem on the horizon in order to qualify for the program, is what you're saying, right?
Yes. The minimum requirement would be the overweight category, and that would be a great place to start, honestly, because that's where we can start to make a difference and prevent some of these pre-diagnoses, and then hopefully prevent the eventual diagnoses.
Great. Will you talk a little bit about your program? I know it's very multidisciplinary. I know that it includes a lot of facets, and I think people don't understand how important that is. So maybe talk about kind of how your team approaches it with the kids and the families.
That's a great question. So our program is set up where dietitians are the primary people you're seeing, but you're also seeing a nurse practitioner or physician, depending on what's going on, just to assess and make sure there's no concerns for physical activity, things like that we should be aware of, that we shouldn't give recommendations. And then after that point, it's seeing the dietitian, and we also have a psychologist that works with our program who will help with if there's issues at school with bullying, if there's other mental health concerns in general, she can help guide with those things. And that's really important, because even when we're coming in and we're talking about food and things like that, it's so much more than just the food on the table. A lot of times there's a lot of other things going on that are affecting the way we're eating, that are affecting how active we are because of how we're feeling about ourselves and things like that.
Sometimes we medicate with food.
Yes.
I know I was a kid who always grew up medicating with food. You used food to celebrate. You used food to make you feel better if you were blue. You used food to socialize. So there's a lot of cultural
families
parts.
All the time, you watch movies and you see if a girl is sad in a movie, what's she doing? Sitting there with an ice cream and eating. That's what we want to try and separate, is that emotion from the eating.
Yep, that's a very important
and putting more activity in there too. These days it's very difficult because we're on our screens, and that's parents, that's kids, that's all of us, you know, and that's a reality that we have to work around. We can't eliminate that, but we do have to find ways to get in the physical activity as well, and it's really important. And it's important for socialization and for working kids learning how to work. It's more than just their physical health. It's also good for mental health.
Right, right. I think mental health is something that luckily we're starting to see more acceptance in our culture as a whole, being able to talk about it and take away some of the stigma around it. And I think you'll see us starting to talk about it a lot more here on Healthy Happy Hour as well, because it's so important and feeds into so many other parts of our health. That mind-body connection is so incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the biggest challenges that you guys have learned, that you've faced in helping families, and some of the biggest challenges that you think families face?
I think one of the biggest challenges with activity in this day and age is safety. Having safe places to go and play and things like that. And so that's where, with our program, we really try to make sure that people are aware of all the resources in the Valley, because there is a lot out there, but a lot of times people just don't know. So things like the YMCA, even in Henderson, there's a lot of community centers that have classes that are very affordable for families to participate in. The Southern Nevada Health District has a Neon to Nature app where you can look on there and find different hiking trails, different parks in the area and things like that. So you can find different things, ways to be active. The other main thing I think the biggest challenge we find is just more processed foods in our diets.
Yes.
It's easy, it's fast, and it's everywhere. So trying to get more of the fresh foods incorporated into diets is a big challenge for families.
I think one of the things about the processed diets that I learned early when I started working clinically with Dr. Brown was the lesson that all families should be taught is the grocery store. The best way to grocery shop is stay on the outside four walls.
Yep.
The inside of the grocery store is processed, bad for you.
Yep.
Outside four walls is your safest and best part of the grocery
meats,
store.
your produce, your dairy, all those
your
kinds
whole
of things.
grains.
Your whole grains,
they're
those are
all on the outside.
Versus, when you're on the inside, if it's going to be packaged in there, it's, that's where you're going to have more additives and things like that.
More processed.
Added colors, all those kinds of things. That too much of that stuff is not good for us. It's just not.
Yeah.
I think the other main thing, I would say diet-wise, the two main things are we're not eating enough fruits and vegetables, fresh, frozen, canned, any, and we're not drinking enough water. That's a challenge.
So important, so important. We talk about hydration a lot on our videos. Every time we like to take the opportunity to say, how do you figure out what is your minimum baseline hydration, which is your amount of pounds, and divide that in half is your number of ounces that should be your baseline water intake per day. And we talk about being a water carrier versus a water drinker. I'm one of those people who likes to buy cute water containers, and I'm a water carrier, not a water drinker.
Yeah.
So think about your creative ways to be a water drinker, not carrier. So that's awesome. So can you talk about the program? Obviously needs a referral because it's in a physician's office.
Correct.
But those referrals can come from not just another specialist, they can come from the pediatrician. So if parents are worried about their kids getting a little bit on the heavy side, inactive side, they can ask their pediatrician for a referral to the Healthy Hearts program. It's readily available right here in the Valley, and all of your pediatricians should know about this program and have it available. So
yes. And it's just the Healthy Hearts program at Children's Heart Center was what they would want to refer to. So they should, all the physicians will know because we're one of the only pediatric cardiology groups in the Valley too. So
and a really valued resource. So we really appreciate you coming on and talking to us today. And we look forward to having you come back and share more information with us. Eventually, we'd like to be able to, knowing that you're a dietitian and we have you as a resource now, maybe even come on and do a cooking segment with us, do some healthy cooking alternatives. So we look forward to having you be a longtime partner with us in the future doing more. So thanks so much for being here with us today. We appreciate it. And don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll be having Amy join us from Oils for a Cause, and we'll be talking about some digestive oils to go along with our subject matter today. So don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, well, you would see the biggest gift would be for me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
Thank you.
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 La, 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 la. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? And when they both get older, with walking canes and hair of gray, have no fear, even though it's hard to hear, I will stand real close and say, thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a friend. I wanna
Thank you.
thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Let me tell you about a friend. I wanna
Thank you.
thank you for being a friend. I wanna
Thank you.
thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you.
Thank
you
you.
for being a friend. You'll hear me call as we ascend. I'll say your name, then once again, thank you for being a Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna
Thank you.
thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank
Thank
Thank you for being a friend. People, let me tell you about a friend right now. Thank you for being a friend. 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 Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you very much.
Hi, thanks for staying with us. We're back with Amy. While we're on our nutrition topic, we are talking about digestive oils. So Amy has brought a nice variety of the oils from doTERRA today for us to talk about. So let's just get to it. How are you today?
I'm excellent. How about yourself?
Great.
Yay. I love this topic. Talking about digestive and gut health. 'Cause, you know, they say that the gut is the second brain.
Yes.
So when you've got a lot of stuff going on, especially when you've got kids that are going through treatment and their tummies are just not well, this can really help. And also for the moms, for those of you that don't know, I am one of you. My child also was diagnosed with cancer. We're 5 years, almost 5 years since diagnosis, which is amazing. And so your tummy probably has some issues too, because I know with the stress and the anxiety and, hospital food, not always the best, or the emotional comfort food, the fast food that you may eat, it really can mess with your tummy. And I was amazed when I started to truly take care of my tummy, how much better my overall health was. Also, if you have any skin issues, a lot of times skin issues come from the gut. So your gut health really is important for so many different ways. And when your child's going through treatment, they have so much stuff going in their bodies that it really can affect their skin. And that, unfortunately, there's not much you can do about the fact that they're going through treatment, but you can do things to try to offset it and help them out a little bit so they can rest easier and feel more comfortable and not feel so bloated and gassy and all of that stuff. So number one for nausea is ginger. And I actually don't have the ginger sitting out here, but ginger is great for any sort of nauseous feelings. You can just smell the oil, rub it on your tummy, ingest it, eat ginger food. Right?
Yes, I was going to say just eat ginger. Remember too, when we talk about rubbing on the tummy, that you're rubbing clockwise, not counterclockwise, so that you don't cause constipation or dysmotility problems. You always want to rub clockwise. But yes, adding ginger to food is such an easy thing to do.
It is, and if you like sushi, you can always
right?
ginger that. But yeah, clockwise. It's funny because you can really help a child move things along, if you know what I mean, by rubbing clockwise.
Yes.
And one of the number one things, I've got quite a few capsules out here, and not just oils. You can use the oil versions of a couple of these. But if you can take the capsules, or your child can, it's really beneficial to get all the way down to your tummy. Terrazyme, which this is doTERRA's Terrazyme, but you can take any digestive enzyme. This one's a very good quality. We talk about doTERRA simply because of the research and the quality and all of the studies that they've done with it. It's very safe. One of the things I do want you to be very, very aware of is a lot of these oils are ingestible. You can put them in a capsule, you can put them under your tongue, but you want to make sure that if you do, there is nutritional supplement information on the side of the bottle. That means you can take it internally. If you're getting oils from Whole Foods or from somewhere else, that's fine. Just make sure that they are safe to ingest. You don't want to ingest anything that says for aromatic use only, or it doesn't have, if it does not have the nutritional supplements, that means you cannot ingest it. So please, please be very aware of that. Another reason why we use doTERRA is because the majority of them can be ingested, which means that they are safe for inside, for outside. Your skin is your biggest organ. Anything you put on your skin will get into your system. So I like to use the most pure oils that we can. With that said, Terrazyme is the digestive enzyme. And I gotta tell you, whenever I eat like pizza and fries and stuff, not that I do it all the time, or like when James was going through chemo at St. Rose, he was inpatient, and Kane's chicken happened to be like in the parking lot, right? It was like right there. So yeah, those of you that have gone through this, sometimes that comfort food is like, not that I'm an emotional eater, but it's comfort, some fries and some chicken and some Texas toast. But my tummy said, oh no, I don't like that stuff. So Terrazyme, the digestive enzymes, will help your tummy. Take these before you eat. Take these before anything hits your tummy. And if your child is very sensitive to different foods through their journey, you want to make sure they have good digestive enzymes. It's going to help break things up.
Because remember, what happens is so much of the medications and things that we're doing when we're going through journeys are breaking down enzymes. the same as we always say every session that we do, make sure that you're talking to your provider and let them know that you're supplementing, so that they are aware, and they will partner with you with these as far as safety goes. But they're not going to be obstructive or judgmental or tell you it's not okay. They want to partner with you and know about these things. The enzymes are nice because versus you see those commercials on TV for just simply your acid reducers, having the karate chop fights with the giant foods, those are just simply a Band-Aid that you're putting on and decreasing the acid production, but they're not really helping you digest the food. These are products that are actually helping you digest the food because the mucosal lining is actually not producing enough enzyme to help you, and so that's what's different about these. They're not just a Band-Aid, they're actually helping your mucosal lining with what it's missing.
Right, and you can take these with every meal, take a couple with them. You can take up to like 8 a day to really keep things going. And I know that dairy a lot of times is one of those really difficult things to digest and process. A lot of people have sensitivities to dairy. And when my son was going through his journey, sometimes ice cream is like all he wanted to eat, but his body had trouble processing it. So the digestive enzymes really help to counteract that. Because sometimes you just gotta have ice cream.
Right?
Like, even though your body says no, you're like, it's okay. I can
I want a milkshake, even though I'm gonna run right to the bathroom. I want a milkshake.
Even though I know, but yeah, these really do help. And along that line is PB Assist. This is a probiotic. Probiotics are crucial to your gut health. You know, as an adult, my skin breaks out. I went through terrible time as a teen and in my 20s with my skin, and it wasn't until I fixed my gut that now my skin is like, now I'm actually proud to like show my face without makeup half the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never been this way. And it's once I got a handle on taking probiotics every day. And the probiotics also help a lot with gas.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The only caution that I have about the probiotics is that, you know, we have this conversation regularly in the provider meetings about the probiotics, because I always am the one trying to say, can we do probiotics to try and avoid, you know, the C. difficile that we're going to get from the antibiotics. One of the things that we have to be only cautious about with the probiotics with our kids are that there are some studies that give us caution about the kids who get stomatitis. There have been case reports of probiotics actually in stomatitis. There is a risk of them actually being able to cross the barrier with even though it's a good bacteria, being able to cross the barrier. So there may be times that the provider is going to say that a probiotic is not okay if they're afraid that that mucosal barrier is not intact. So please, please do make sure that your provider is in that conversation, because it's for safety.
Yeah, and on that note, I will say that as a mom of a patient here at Cure for the Kids, the providers here are very open to the conversations. And my experience, I've seen other mothers that are like, well, I don't want to tell them what we're doing because what if they say no? Well, that's not safe for your child or for yourself. So I know that my relationship with my son's oncologist is a very open one. And if they say, hey, this probably isn't safe, they have the research to back that up and to share why and why not. And a lot of times, they just say, yeah, that's a great thing. I hadn't thought of that, because it's something supplemental or in addition to. So definitely do not leave anything out that you're doing. It doesn't matter how kooky or wacky it is, because trust me, I'm one of those moms that's like, I will do anything, right? And I know you will too. So just be open about it, and they will make sure that your child gets the absolute best care possible. But these are great for you as well. And then we have Digestin and Peppermint. These are great for that indigestion, that nausea, and when things are kind of having some trouble moving through down there, you can rub Digesten. It's a combination of peppermint and a few other things, along with, this is pure peppermint in a capsule that actually goes all the way down to your intestines. So those are really good too.
Peppermint too is nice to do a little peppermint tea sometimes when they're nauseated or just want a little comfort. Talking about comfort food, sometimes just sipping a little peppermint tea is a nice comfort thing too.
With pure essential oils, 1 drop of peppermint is equivalent to 28 cups of steeped peppermint tea.
Right, so remember the toothpick trick.
Very
the toothpick trick.
Yeah.
That Jeanette always told us about dipping the toothpick so that you only get a fraction of a drop if you use the pure oil.
Strong.
Yes.
It's excellent.
Yes.
So take care of your tummy to take care of yourself.
Yes, perfect. Thanks for staying with us. As always, partner with your healthcare provider. They're here for you, we're here for you, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for staying with us. Take care until next time. Bye-bye.
Well, well.